Hello, my name is Brendan Spaulding.
Behavioral disorders are very common. An example of this is Billy Stark in Southview Middle School. Billy stuck out, always wearing an oversized jacket, t-shirt, jeans, and heavy boots. His jet black dyed hair was always slicked back or sticking straight up, if not shaved off. He was thin. Billy could be described as a total misfit, and everyone's aware of this situation. People say that in some cases, the appearances of adolescents trying to find their place in the world can be very misleading. This relative term couldn't be applied to Billy. Billy's description fit him, or his description fit the reputation that had followed him from his past to his current school.
Only being in middle school, Billy had quite the reputation to follow him. Billy had been expelled from his previous school. Many of his new teachers had heard rumors about Billy, and they didn't know what to think about him being expelled. It was either due to drugs or due to stolen money.
Based on these judgments or premeditated opinions struck the teachers, and no one wanted Billy in their class. This is an unfair circumstance of discrimination that most victims of behavioral disorders are forced to go through. Billy's new middle school principal, Mr. Scholastic, was a man who believed in teamwork, and this held true even in the case of Billy Stark. In meetings, he discussed with teachers to help find a teacher who was able to provide the support that Billy would need in a classroom setting. The teacher picked for this task was Mr. Bonta. Why was Mr. Bonta the best suited for Billy? Mr. Bonta was the best fit for Billy because he was a very non-confrontational teacher and he clicked with his students. The school handled this situation with caution and very well because they decided that they couldn't wait for an incident to happen to be prepared to handle this. They went to find sources to help Billy, which included the counselor to keep track of Billy. They also went to Billy's family, specifically Billy's father, to keep close contact. On the first day, Billy had already gotten violent with another student. Mr. Bonta, being aware of this situation, he chose not to send Billy into the office, but to take matters into his own hands. Mr. Bonta did regret not talking to his students beforehand about their new student, but doing this would single Billy out, making it unfair for him. And the isolation that warning his students wouldn't make Billy's situation any better. Mr. Bonta went to Billy about the situation and Billy denied it. Billy claimed that the students were picking on him, so he defended himself like he had always done, even at his previous schools. Mr. Bonta then decided that taking matters into his own hands just wouldn't work, so he would speak to the counselor after school. Before Mr. Bonta could speak to the counselor, Billy was caught smoking in the bathroom, and when confronted about the situation, he denied it, just like he had done at earlier locations. With seeing a repeated pattern of Billy disobeying and then denying, Mr. Bonta scheduled a meeting with Billy's father. Billy's father was honest with Mr. Bonta, admitting that Billy had a troubled school past, and even went to the extent of doctors prescribing medication to help Billy with his hyperactive and aggression. His father believed Billy was currently acting out because his mother had abandoned the family, and he had also admitted to his absence in the family and his drinking problem, but he was now sober. Together, the team decided that a united front would be a better route to help convince Billy to change his actions and release his pent-up aggression. Mr. Banta had tried many times with Billy daily. In class, Billy was sullen, withdrawn, and sarcastic, but that was on a good day. On a bad day, Billy was argumentative, mad, and occasionally violent. It was decided that Billy would receive special education. By this, it was discovered that Billy had little confidence and needed motivation. He also tended to blame others for his actions due to his relationship with his parents. Billy, after this, after all the work the teachers had put to help him, unlike what many schools would do, like the previous school that had just gave up on Billy and expelled, Billy would end up leaving the school with his father to find better help by moving near his family. And it would later turn out that Billy would end up in Indiana in a juvenile detention hall.